The Acura 7-day sales event, only until September 30th. Visit your Acura dealer today.
Welcome to Rogers Center, first of the three-game series that will wrap up the 2015 regular season for the Toronto Blue Jays. When the Blue Jays began to remake this roster back in November, they focused on winning players, and the top of their list was Russell Martin. His ability to lead winning efforts throughout his career served him very well. He hit maybe the biggest home run on Wednesday night that we have seen in Rogers Center for a long, long time.
I know it's one of his favorite home runs. He was telling me that today. It really broke open that ball game against the Yankees. That three-run home run, what an at-bat he had. It looked like he might have struck out on the previous pitch. He got that cutter out over the plate. Three-run homer, busted it open. He says he puts it right up there with the home run he hit off of Johnny Cueto in the playoffs in 2013 when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you're right, this guy's been in the playoffs 7 out of the last 9 years. He's a leader behind the plate for the Blue Jays. And he was talking today, I was asking him about letdown. And he said, there's no way. This team is focused. We know how good the Tampa Bay Rays are. He said they play us tougher than the New York Yankees. So there's no going to be any late letdown for the Blue Jays tonight.
The Rays lead the season series 8-5 over the Blue Jays, and R.A. Dickey will go to the mound tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup for Kevin Cash's Tampa Bay Rays. They won 3 of 4 against the Boston Red Sox. They have one of the better records on the road in the American League at 38-37. Take a look at their lineup. Down in the 5th spot is Asdrubal Cabrera, and he has hit well against tonight's starter for the Blue Jays, R.A. Dickey, 6 for 16 with 4 extra base hits, and he's driven home 5 runs. How about the former Blue Jay? Back in the big leagues, J.P. Arancibia is batting 9th and catching tonight, and he's really swinging the bat well here in the month of September. 3.14 average with 5 home runs. JP hit 22 home runs in AAA this summer.
He's got that power stroke working for him, and they will go up against R.A. Dickey. He gets ready for his 32nd start of the season. He tries for the 4th time for his 100th career victory. He has made 4 starts against the Tampa Bay Rays this season. He's winless, 0-3 versus Tampa Bay, although they have only hit .264 against him. Much better in his last outing. R.A. back to the mound, pitched well enough to win. 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Boston Red Sox. Picked up a no decision in that game, but he did go over 200 innings pitched for the 5th consecutive season.
A little different look in the Blue Jays' makeup of their defense tonight. Let's take a look. The outfield is the same with Revere, Pilar, and Bautista, but it gets different on the infield. Pennington and Goins on the left side, Barney and Encarnacion on the right side, and Russell Martin will catch the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey tonight.
Don't worry, Josh Donaldson is in the lineup. He is DHing tonight, so Cliff Pennington will get the start. Donaldson has made 143 starts out of a possible 152 games at third base this year. So Cliff Pennington's going to get the start at third base. This is his first start at third for the Blue Jays. Last time he started at third, May the 15th at Philadelphia when he was a member of Arizona.
It is his 20th career start at third base. Josh Donaldson has played all but 93 innings in the field at third this season. Dickey is set. Jaso's in the box. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. Cut on and popped to first. Encarnacion will step on the bag. Easy out to start the game.
We'll watch very closely how Tampa Bay is. We have watched them a couple of times this year be very aggressive early in the count against R.A. Dickey. We've also seen them go up there taking a lot of pitches. That time Jaso decided to swing at the first pitch.
Grady Sizemore, the veteran, has picked up with Tampa Bay and done a pretty good job for them. I think he missed with that fastball. Sizemore for the season, 241 average. That's 6 home runs, 28 RBIs.
Another fastball from R.A.
R.A.'s had a great knuckleball in the second half of the season. He's been able to throw it in the strike zone. What's led to his success of throwing so many strikes?
Well, he always tinkering. He's always working on ways to improve himself. And he was saying after the All-Star game, thought his head position is key, that he keeps his head still and goes towards home plate. A lot of times that head starts to leak out towards first base and the body follows. When he's keeping it still and he's going towards home plate, he can stay on top of that ball just a little bit better.
That ball is hit into the alley, and it's going to get down and go up against the wall. Sizemore is headed for second. Pilar will dig it out. Sizemore stops at second with a one-out double. Dickey tried to get that fastball down and away and didn't hit his spot.
The whole key is to get ahead so you can finish him off with that knuckleball. He fell behind. And there's the two-seamer. You're right. He wanted that down and away, and it's about belt high over the middle of the plate. Pilar was playing him to pull. You can see on that replay, but that splits the outfield.
Tenth double of the season for the Rays left fielder. Now Evan Longoria takes one outside. Longoria, a .250 hitter for his career against Dickey. He's 10 for 40. Tampa Bay is the only opponent the Jays have played this season that has outscored the Jays. Pretty interesting, but that reflects on how good their pitching staff is.
You're absolutely right. They have really made it tough on the Blue Jays.
There's a base hit to left field. They're going to stop Sizemore. Here's the throw cut off by Pennington. Longoria with a ringing single to left. That ball was hit right at Revere, and Charlie Montoya, the third base coach, put up the stop sign quickly.
It's a knuckleball. Stays over the middle of the plate. The Rays come in here, a pretty hot team. They took 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox at Fenway. Got in here late last night, early this morning. They continue to hit.
You said it, that the Rays play the Blue Jays very tough. They've won 8 of the 13 games they've played so far. That's Chris Archer talking to the pitching coach Jim Hickey, and Archer will start tomorrow. This is Logan Forsyth, and what a season he has had. 17 home runs and 66 RBIs. That hit him, and that's going to load the bases. Dickey's off to a rough start here in the first.
We talked about controlling the knuckleball and throwing it in the strike zone. And after the first pitch out by Jaso, he just hasn't been able to throw that knuckleball where he wants to. This time it just clips Forsyth right on the tricep to load the bases.
Asdrubal Cabrera has hit well against Dickey in the past. He's 6 for 16 with a pair of home runs. He's got a mini 3-game hit streak working. That ball gets away from Martin, and here comes Sizemore with the first run of the game. Well, Tampa Bay's not coming in here and going to lay down for the Blue Jays, that's for sure.
And they never do. The players have talked about that. The management has talked about that for the Rays, that they intend to try and win this series. They're not going to lay down. That knuckleball way out in front. Almost impossible for Russell Martin to block that one. Kevin Cash says, I've got 2 of my best pitchers throwing. I'm going to try and win this series. And they're off to a good start.
3-0. It is very breezy here tonight, and that can have an effect on Dickey's ability to throw that knuckleball for strikes. This becomes inconsistent with it. As Asdrubal Cabrera goes around on the 3-0 pitch, he may have been expecting to get a fastball.
Oh, that swing certainly looked like he was looking for the fastball. He's got the green light. Be careful.
Fly ball. Pilar over into the alley. Longoria tagging up. Pilar is deep. He's going to go to third, and that's the right throw. As the Rays get the sac fly from Asdrubal Cabrera, and they take a 2-0 lead. Ball was hit just too deep for Pilar to make a throw to the plate. James Loney, the first baseman, veteran hitter, batting .281 for the season. 2-0 Rays. Goes after the first pitch, and Pennington gives way to the shortstop Goins, and the inning is over. For Tampa Bay, they score 2 runs on 2 hits and leave a base runner, taking an early 2-0 lead over the Blue Jays. John Gibbons Ball Club knows all about this Tampa Rays ball club. They have pitched them tough all year long. Take a look at the lineup tonight for John Gibbons. Ben Revere, Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, then Edwin Encarnacion. He's got a 5-game hit streak. He has had a terrific second half to his season. He's 7 for his last 18 with 5 RBIs, and then down in the 7th spot, Kevin Pillar has picked it up on his homestand. He's 7 for 22 with 3 extra base hits, including a home run.
They will face Jake Oderizzi, who will get ready for his 27th start of the season. He's only 8-8. They just don't score him a lot of runs. He's got a very good earned run average of .338. Sunday he only lasted 5 2/3 innings. One of the problems he's had is at one time he had the AL low in runs given to him. At just 3 runs a game. They are now up to 6th lowest. They just haven't scored any runs, but he has been awfully tough against the Blue Jays.
He and R.A. Dickey matched up for the first game between these two teams this season, and he beat Dickey 2-1. Tampa Bay won 3 of the first 4 games of the season right here at Rogers Center. Oderizzi is a quick worker, and when you look at any of the Rays starters, they are really sound fundamentally.
Good fundamentals, good mechanics on the mound, and the use of the off-speed pitch. Very important to him.
It's a very good split finger pitch that he throws with a lot of confidence. Chris Archer, the youngster, will go tomorrow. Well, tomorrow he's 27, so he's not a youngster anymore. A terrific young pitcher, leader of the pack for this Rays starting staff. Ben Revere behind 1-2. Gets on that high fastball. Ben Revere is one of the better high fastball hitters in all of baseball. And he's able to get on top of that good high hard fastball and put it in play.
He can dump it into left field. That's why the left fielder is so shallow. Or if his timing is right and he gets the barrel out in front, he can drive it over the right fielder's head. We've seen him do that this season.
Good curveball, but it's inside in the dirt. Oderizzi, you mentioned his record, 8-8, .338 earned run average. The Rays have had a history of pitchers that pitch to a good earned run average but stay around 500. They just haven't had real strong offensive ball clubs over their franchise history.
There's not a lot of run support to work with. His last 3 starts, though, they've been scoring in some runs. He scored 16 runs in those last 3 starts to raise that run support average from an AL low 3.16. Now he's up to the 6th lowest in the American League.
So Revere works the count full. Josh Donaldson will DH for the 7th time this season. a half a night off for Donaldson, if you will. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Lined into left field. That's going to split the gap and go toward the warning track. And Kiermar missed it. Revere's headed for third. And he'll get there standing up. Running it back to start the game for the Blue Jays.
Well, you talk about getting on top of high fastballs. The left fielder, again, very shallow. That's Grady Sizemore. So if you can hit the ball into the gap, you got a good chance for that ball to get by him. How about Kevin Kiermar in center field? The speedy center fielder almost runs that ball down and cut it off for extra bases for just 2. But when he misses it, that allows Revere to go all the way to third base for a triple.
That's his first triple as a Blue Jay, his 7th for the season. Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson over 300 once again. He's had 52 ribbies in his last 50 games.
One more time. Ben Revere gets on top of that high fastball. 3-2. It splits the outfielder. Kiermar misplays it. That would have been a tough play. But by the time Sizemore backs it up, triple for Revere.
Blue Jays trying to answer the Rays' 2 runs in the top half of the first. Revere did his part. Three and one, center cut fastball.
Thought he might have the green light right there, but looking for some base runners.
Another fastball. Full count. Bautista is on deck. Cut down that swing and got a piece of it. Oderizzi is 2-1. This is his 6th start against the Blue Jays. He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in 4 of those 5 previous starts. Upstairs, Donaldson strikes out. Well, Tampa Bay is all about pitching and defense, and they've got some good defenders in the outfield for sure. Grady Sizemore, former center fielder, is in left. Kevin Kiermar is in center. He can really go get him. And Brandon Guyer is in left. Longoria at third base. Asdrubal Cabrera and Forsyth up the middle. James Loney at first. And J.P. Arancibia, the former Blue Jay, behind the plate. Bautista goes after the first pitch. Revere has to hold his ground. Oderizzi with 2 outs.
Boy, anywhere else on the diamond, and that's a run for the Blue Jays. Jose got out in front of that one. Right back to the third baseman. Now it's going to take a 2-out hit by Edwin. There's J.P. Arancibia behind the dish. 15 starts at catcher for Tampa Bay. He's got a catcher's earned run average of .390. He started 11 of the last 17 games for the Rays behind the plate. Spent pretty much the whole season in AAA.
JP is now 29 years old. Edwin Encarnacion trying to pick up JD and Jose Bautista. Fouled it straight back. 0-2. Kevin Cash in his first season as the manager of the Rays, along with a longtime pitching coach, Jim Hickey. In Tampa Bay, they call Hickey the sorcerer for his ability to turn pitchers' careers around. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Arancibia. Boy, Oderizzi, if he can get out of this after the leadoff triple, that'll be a big boost in his confidence tonight.
And falling behind 3-0 to Donaldson, the batter right after the triple.
Up the middle, there's the defense in the shift. Forsyth goes to first, and Oderizzi pitches around. The leadoff triple will go to the second. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Let's check in with Hazel May.
Buck, after Russell Martin belted that pivotal 3-run home run against the Yankees Wednesday night, as you mentioned, instead of going out to celebrate the Blue Jays series victory, Martin crossed the street here from Rogers Center to the Steam Whistle Brewery to attend a fundraiser for the I Believe Foundation. Now, the event raised money and awareness for the MPS II rare disease, or as it's better known, the Hunter syndrome. Sportsnet's own Rashmit Dani co-hosted the event and told me Martin showed up right after the ball game. He posed for dozens of photos and signed dozens of autographs and was a real trooper, a real champion to the event. Martin also donated his Rogers Center suite to the Jays' final home game to the charity. I asked Russell earlier, weren't you mentally and physically drained from that intense victory over the Yankees? And he says, you know what, whether you're a pro athlete or not, you have to do what you can to support great causes, and that is what he did. But
great story, Hazel, and there are so many of these Blue Jays that contribute their time and take time away from the game to add to the community, and Russell Martin's doing his job, that's for sure. Terrific group of players they have, and they've all been very active in supporting the community and giving their time. Brandon Guyer, the right fielder. Ball on the strike on Guyer. There's a base hit to left. Guyer leads off the second with a sharp single to left field. Third hit for Tampa Bay.
Brandon Guyer seems to come up with some big hits against the Blue Jays. That time he got the head down. Followed that one all the way in. And he picks up the base hit.
Kevin Kiermar, he's got good speed. Center fielder takes a first pitch strike from Dickey. Kiermar, you might think he would bunt a lot, but he has just 3 bunt base hits this season. Guyer can run a little bit. He's got 10 stolen bases, and Dickey's aware of that. Tampa Bay, you can bet they're going to keep the pedal to the metal tonight. They're going to keep the pressure on if they can.
Absolutely keep the pressure on. Kevin Cash has talked about, hey, we're going to play the spoiler here against the Blue Jays. We know they're playing well. We know they're playing well at home, and they're on a nice little run right now. But, hey, we want to spoil their party, and I don't blame them.
Now, everybody feels like that. If you go into a situation where you can knock off a contending team, you want to do that. 0-2 to Kiermar. Tampa Bay 75-78. They took 3 of 4, as Pat mentioned, from Boston. Now it's 2-2. Check that. It's a ball and 2 strikes. When you think about Tampa Bay, look at their road record. They've really played well on the road. They're game over 500 on the road. There's a fly ball. Ben Revere is over in the alley, makes the catch.
Catcher number 40, J.P. Arancibia.
J.P. Arancibia, a former #1 pick of the Blue Jays in 2007. Spent 4 seasons with the Blue Jays. Actually made his major league debut against Tampa Bay. Had a terrific debut. 4 hits, couple of home runs. He goes after the first pitch. That was against James Shields, the ace of the Rays at that time.
Oh, I remember that game. This guy, who is this guy? He came up here and was just hitting everything all over the ballpark. He had a home run and he had a double or a triple in that game. A lot of extra base hits, a lot of RBIs. Back in the big leagues, you know what you're going to get from him. He's not going to go up there to walk. He's got 1 walk and 22 strikeouts. He's swinging the bat.
JP hit 22 home runs in AAA with the Rays. Runner going, fouled off the catcher Martin. Geyer was on the move. Kevin Cash talking to Eric Shelton, the hitting coach. That's Tom Foley, the bench coach, in the middle. Veteran coaching staff for Cash, the rookie. R.A. Dickey, since joining the Jays, has a 20-8 record pitching in the second half of the season. He's done that again this year in the second half. Pitched very well. So Martin backhanded that ball into the dirt. Dickey is pitching for the 4th time, trying to win his 100th career game.
He's pitched some good ball games. He's pitched well enough to win. At times he's just run into a pretty hot pitcher. Last time out, Blue Jays couldn't score many runs, and he picked up a no decision.
Fouled into the seats.
And now he's facing a team that has in the past given him problems.
For his career, Dickey is 6-8 against Tampa Bay. This is his 22nd career game, his 18th start against the Rays. Outside.
You know, R.A.'s knuckleball is pretty good tonight. I mean, it's dancing and moving. He just can't get it in the strike zone as consistently as we've seen him so far here in the second half. It's firm and it's moving. It's just off the plate.
Carnacion had to come off the bag to flag that one down. It's a good chance for them to run right here. You can bet they're going to get a knuckleball to Arancibia, and Geyer might be on the move. Not running. Ball in the dirt. 3-2, 1 out. Tampa Bay scored 2 runs in the top of the first. 2 runs on 2 hits, a walk, and a sac fly.
You know they're running here. They got to run right here. They'll take their chances if there's some contact being made. Oh, he was leaning.
Oh, he was leaning. Better throw. They had a shot at him.
R.A.'s thinking right along with us here. Watch Geyer take a half a step and start leaning, and then he's got to get back. If that throw's on the bag, he's out.
There he goes. Arancibia hits it to third. Pennington will go to first in time. Arancibia's retired. Well, the Yankees won last night as they beat up on Chris Sale. They won that game over the White Sox 3-2, and because of that Yankee win, Blue Jays now have a 3-game lead over New York in the East.
One swing of the bat. Carlos Beltran once again with another 3-run home run. The difference in the ball game. The Yankees win that one. But you know, the Blue Jays, they're not worried about the Yankees. I mean, you talk to the players around the batting cage, they're worried about them just winning, taking care of their own business.
Yeah, the Blue Jays don't need any help. The Yankees need some help. Jaso bounces it toward first. Encarnacion will step on the bag. And the Blue Jays are out of the top of the second. The Rays leave a base runner. Will go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Martin, Goins, and Pilar for the Jays.
Presented by the Acura 7-Day Sales Event, only until September 30th. Visit your Acura dealer today.
Tampa Bay with a 2-0 lead. Russell Martin will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Martin hit his 21st home run of the season on Wednesday. Wednesday night game, that was a difference in the ball game for sure. Kevin Pillar had the game-winning hit as he drove in the first run of the ball game, but that 3-run home run gave the Blue Jays a comfortable lead.
I asked Russell today, has he hit a better home run than that one right there?
Drive to right. This ball is going to be caught by Brandon Guyer. Martin hit it hard, and that ball was sinking. Guyer made a nice play of it.
Pretty good swing right there. Russell said the home run he hit off of Johnny Cueto in the playoffs when he was with the Pirates was probably his favorite home run. If you remember that, the fans were all over him. Cueto was actually on the mound, and he dropped the ball. Next pitch, Russell took him deep. He said that was my favorite home run that I've ever hit. The one the other day was a close second.
Yeah, it was a big home run for the Blue Jays, and certainly secured that series win against the Yankees. Tell you what, Jake Oderizzi is a tough customer. Blue Jays have their work cut out for him tonight. In case you're just joining us, Ben Revere had a leadoff triple. He was stranded at third base. Oderizzi struck out Donaldson, got Bautista to ground out to third, and Encarnacion grounded out to second.
The one time that they had success against Oderizzi, it was Jake's fault. There are his numbers on the road. He had 5 walks against the Blue Jays. They waited him out, but he's always been tough on him.
This is a fly ball into left center, and Kiermar is there. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, it's a big game for the Blue Jays to keep their eye on, but actually, like we spoke before, they better focus on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has pitched them tough all season long. The Jays have averaged 3.6 runs a game against Tampa Bay this season. As a result, Tampa Bay has won 8 of the 13 games. Kevin Pillar, we mentioned his game-winning base hit on Wednesday night. Pillar drove in the first run of the game with a 2-out single up the middle off Caleb Cotton. Drives this ball to the alley, and that ball is going to be off the warning track, out of the ballpark for a ground rule double. Well, Kevin Pillar, that's his 27th double of the season. Brandon Guyer gave it everything he had, but he couldn't come up with it.
The Rays have 3 former center fielders in their outfield tonight. They can really run. This is a very good sign as Pillar takes that fastball down and away, and he actually drives that ball hard to right center field. Guyer playing right field tonight, almost comes up with it. It bounces out of play, and another double for the Blue Jays.
So Cliff Pennington making the start at third base tonight. The switch hitting third baseman with Pillar at second goes after the first pitch. Pennington just 8 hits since coming to the Blue Jays, but he's driven in 10 runs. Half of the runs he's driven in for the season has come since he has joined the Blue Jays. This is his 27th game.
He's hit a couple of home runs for him, some big home runs for the Jays.
Chase that high fastball. Oderizzi is ahead 0-2.
He will, when he gets to 2 strikes, use that split changeup. That's a pitch that was taught to him by his teammate Alex Cobb a couple of seasons ago. It's a changeup, but he uses a split grip, and the ball tumbles out. He's got good movement on it. He's got good arm action on it, and he uses it 35% of the time with 2 strikes.
There goes Pillar, pitches up, and Arcibia drops it. Kevin Pillar with his 24th stolen base.
High fastball. That's a good pitch to throw on. But the transfer for Arcibia just drops it. I don't know if he had a shot at him.
Foul back upstairs once again. Full count. Darwin Barney, second baseman, is on deck. And Wilford in left field. Grady Sizemore can't make the play. Pennington will go to second. Kiermar drops it when he tried to pick it up, but the Blue Jays are on the board. The 11th RBI for Cliff Pennington. A 2-out single to left.
Well, he just risked that ball out into left field. A 2-strike approach for Pennington, and he comes up with a big hit for the Blue Jays, cutting that lead right in half. It looked like Grady Sizemore had a shot at catching that ball, but it goes off his glove. First the hit. Watch him just whisk the ball into left field. And here comes Sizemore. It's off of his glove for a hit, and then Pennington hustles into scoring position at second base, just off the tip of the glove of Sizemore.
They credit Pennington with a double. Darwin Barney. Barney takes the first pitch strike. Darwin is 1 for 4 since joining the Blue Jays. Barney had a single against the Yankees on Wednesday night. A 2-out single to left. Darwin played most of the season at AAA Oklahoma City for the Dodgers. He hit .277 with 15 doubles, 4 homers, and drove in 31.
It must be nice to have a guy like that in AAA. A guy who's won a Gold Glove and makes a couple of $1 million a year, and you got him on your AAA roster.
Ground ball. Forsyth to his left has it. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays break through against Jake Oderizzi. Cliff Pennington with a 2-out double. It's a 2-1 ball game.
One of the members of the Bare Naked Ladies. Mr. Robertson, I got to ask you first of all, okay, so the first pitch gets thrown out tonight by one of the Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
How did Tyler get that gig?
Well, he just asked, and frankly, he would have whined so much if he didn't get to throw out the first pitch that the rest of us were just happy to let him do it.
It has been a long time since the Blue Jays were in the postseason. You grew up in this area. 92, you guys had just released the Gordon album. That was your first big album. In 93, you were touring. What do you remember about being a Jays fan, touring, and feeling that whole Blue Jays fever?
Well, that was an incredibly exciting time to be from Toronto. It's great to feel that energy again. I'm just excited to be here tonight. It's, you know, the early 90s were a pretty good time for me, and it's feeling pretty good again right here in Toronto.
And you guys are about to go out on tour again. It's going to be interesting because once again, you guys are going to be in the middle of this pennant race, and you're going right across the country, and you'll get to experience all that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time for the city. It's a great time for Toronto, but you know, we're blessed with this incredible early fall weather as well. It's good times here.
Well, listen, maybe we'll see you guys perform during the World Series this year. It'd be great.
Oh, we got a pop fly. I don't want to get it in the face. I would love to. You know, we're always available to sing an anthem. I'm enjoying the game in luxury here in the box of Dr. Helmut Boscher up here, of course.
Otherwise known as Scott Moore, our big boss. Listen, thank you very much for joining us. We'll send it back to you, Buck.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. And Russell Martin, what a terrific play he makes over in the Blue Jays dugout.
This is why he's a Gold Glover right here. He knows exactly where that dugout is. His teammates are there to help him. We have seen him jump into the dugout. We've seen him climb up on those walls. That time he caresses that one ever so nicely.
First out of the inning, and now it's Evan Longoria who had a single to left. Longoria scored the second Rays run on the sac fly. That slow knuckleball had Longoria way out in front. Longoria had a bit of a reunion here today. He got a chance to meet up with his former college shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki. They both played at Long Beach State, and Tulowitzki was anxious to say hi to Longoria. How about that infield? That's off the end of the bat. Darwin Barney, former Gold Glover, makes an easy play of it.
I'll take my chances with that left side of the infield, huh? Tulowitzki at short, Longoria at third base.
When Tulowitzki left after his junior year, Longoria moved from third to short, and he played one more season at Long Beach State. But they had a pretty good pitching staff. In Tulowitzki's sophomore season, Jared Weaver was the starter, Jason Vargas, and Cesar Ramos. Pretty good college pitching staff.
Marco Estrada was there around that time also.
Yeah, he was there for 1 year. He was a junior college transfer and also played with them at Long Beach State.
Well, he finally got to meet up with Longo. We saw him down in the tunnel outside the locker rooms today, visiting.
1-1 count on Logan Forsyth. He walked in the first inning. Blue Jays score a run in the bottom of the second. Dickey trying to throw up a zero here in the top of the third. R.A. Dickey enjoying his 5th consecutive season throwing 200 or more innings. He has been Mr. Consistency. Line drive, short high by Gordons. 3 up, 3 down, exactly what the doctor ordered. R.A. Dickey retires the side in order, turns things back over to the offense. Top of the order when we come back. Just to come back here, they trail by a run, 2-1 Tampa Bay. Ben Revere got everything started for the Blue Jays, but he was stalled at third. Got a leadoff triple and didn't advance. Jake Oderizzi. There's that high fastball, and Oderizzi might have got a call in his favor.
According to pitch trackers, he might have.
The ball is driven to center. Kiermar is there.
Tough to get it over that guy's head right there out in center field.
You know, I was thinking about Kiermar and Pilar today, two of the best center fielders in the American League. But when you think about center fielders, they're all good. I mean, obviously, it's one of the most challenging defensive positions on the field. And you've got Kiermar, you've got Ellsbury in New York, Jackie Bradley Jr. or Mookie Betts in Boston. You got Adam Jones in Baltimore. This is a tough division for center fielders.
That's just the American League East that you're speaking of.
Josh Donaldson struck out on a high fastball his first time up. There's that splitter and a good one. Well, you start establishing that high fastball and then bring that splitter into the mix. It's really a tough combination of pitches for the hitters.
Yeah, that's why I think as a hitter you got to either look for the ball down or look for the ball up, especially early in the count. Josh's first time up looked like he was looking for something down and a lot of breaking balls, and he got 3 of them in a row and was ahead 3-0, and then took a couple of fastballs right down the middle. What I think teams have started to do against him is throw a lot of breaking balls early in the count. Tonight, splitters, we saw Nova throw a lot of breaking balls. We saw the Yankees throw a lot of breaking balls and then try to finish off the at-bats with high fastballs. That's what Josh struck out on his last time up, a high fastball.
Swinging a drive deep to center. Kiermar on the run. Number 40.
Donaldson reaches 40 home runs. What a season he is having. You know, it's really interesting. We were just talking about teams have been throwing him fastballs to finish him off. So what do? They throw him a slider right down Broadway, and Josh smokes it.
Donaldson becomes the 9th Blue Jay player to hit 40 home runs in a season, and the 3rd player in club history to have 40 doubles and 40 homers. Sean Green went 40-40 in '99. Carlos Delgado 40-40 in 2000. Now Josh Donaldson. He really didn't get that ball. It was toward the end of the bat, but he's so strong he got enough of it to hit it out. Bautista takes another walk. Bautista has enjoyed his 4th 100-walk season. Josh Donaldson takes a pitch. Now watch this. We don't see this very often, Pat. He is regrouping all the way away from home plate, trying to gather his thoughts.
If that's April, they're going to tell him to get back into the box, right? But you're right. It's September. He's rethinking. You can see him. Whenever he's got his head down like that, he's always, picturing his swing in his mind. He's thinking. He gets the slider out in front. See ya.
He has had a little bit of a rough patch lately, but it looked like he said, you know what, let me think about this for a second.
Well, he thought right.
Upstairs to Encarnacion, 1-0.
They struck him out last time with a high fastball, and that's what the Yankees did to him in the series previous to this one. I thought they might go back to that high fastball, but he hung him a slider.
This lineup will wear you down. Oderizzi got through this part of the lineup in the first inning after Revere tripled. He struck out Donaldson, got Bautista the ground out, and Encarnacion ground out the end of the inning. But it's hard to get through the three-headed beast in back-to-back innings.
A couple of hard hit balls. Remember, Edwin hit a ball right back through the middle with 2 strikes. It looked like it was going to be a base hit, but it was right into the shift. Martin hit a ball hard to right field. Revere hit a ball hard to center field to lead off this inning.
They're zeroed in on Oderizzi a little bit better second time through the batting order. Russell Martin will be next. You know, you question why he didn't swing 3-0. He's done it so often, but if Edwin's not ready to hit, he's not going to take a half-hearted swing. And he'll take ball 4. Home run, walk.
Pitching coach. That normally happens. Pitchers give up a home run when they're facing the big boys, and then they try to be a little bit too fine. I think Kevin Hickey picked up on that. I'm going to remind them to be a little bit more aggressive.
Chris Archer talked about that today, thinking about his start tomorrow against David Price. He said, if you're tentative against this team, they will wear you out.
Well, Russell Martin gets a chance with a couple of runners on, and maybe he can do this. Again, this was Wednesday. Deep to left field. A little cutter that went right out over the middle of the plate. If you remember the pitch before that, right on the outside corner. Andrew Bailey thought it was strike 3. Russell gets another shot, and he hammered that ball to left field. I'll tell you, that sent this stadium into a frenzy.
Russell hit one hard and lined out to right field his first time up. Ball in the dirt. Another Jays hitter with the count in his favor. Russell talked about his home run after the game on Wednesday night and said, you know, I had 2 strikes. I was just shortening up trying to hit it hard. And then he said, maybe I should take that approach all the time.
All the time. I mean, that's what it seems like he does his best work, doesn't it? When he's thinking about right center field or left center field, he's not trying to pull the ball all the time. Yeah, that short stroke, the 2-strike approach can get you into a nice little place mentally. If you're just thinking short swing, you track the ball a lot longer. You see it. You're not trying to necessarily, hey, I'm going to hit a home run. You're just going to put a good swing on it.
And a better swing at that pitch. It was out over the plate and he stayed on it. You and I both played with George Brett, the Hall of Famer, and Brett, when he talked about home runs, he said, I always told myself, don't try to hit it far, try to hit it hard. And that pretty much sets up a mindset for a good hitter.
A shorter stroke. What happens when you try and hit the ball too far? You become long, your swing becomes long, or that front shoulder starts opening up a little bit too much and you're susceptible to a breaking ball. But if you're thinking about hitting it hard, shorten up your swing.
3-2. Ryan Goins is on deck. goes Bautista, and Encarnacion followed him. They were running on the pitch. Both Bautista and Encarnacion are very good base runners. They really understand that part of the game.
Jake Oderizzi, he's just been giving him one look every time. He's coming straight to the set position. He's looking back, one look, and then going home. And Bautista timed him up perfectly. We will probably see Oderizzi now hold the ball and look back a couple of times.
So Oderizzi toes the rubber, and he will throw another 3-2 pitch. Donaldson again exchanging information. Bautista not running here, and Martin strikes out. Ball moved down and in, and Oderizzi gets just his second strikeout of the night.
3-2. It looked like one of those split changeups, just 87 miles an hour, but a lot of movement. There it is right there. The split grip. That ball comes moving in. And Russell swings right over the top of it.
Ryan Goins flied out to center his first time up. Goins wasn't playing every day the last time the Blue Jays faced the Rays. Takes one up and away. Goins for the season just 2 for 14 against Tampa Bay. This is the first time these two teams have played since July 19th.
How about that? Right after the All-Star break, that homestand. Blue Jays playing the Rays. A lot has happened to both of these teams.
Off the plate. At that time, they were tied at 47 and 47. The Yankees were in front. And since then, the Blue Jays have gone 40 and 18, while the Rays have gone 28 and 31. And Goins is a much more patient hitter.
Yeah, he's a better hitter. That is Kevin Pillar on deck. He's already had a double tonight. Tell you what, they have made Jake Oderizzi throw a lot of pitches. It's only the third inning.
Three and one now to Goins. Jim Hickey, of course, like most pitching coaches, always preaching his mantra of pitch ahead, put the pressure on the hitters. Oderizzi hasn't been able to do that. Bautista walked. He's at second. Encarnacion, he too walked. Ball is fouled back on the 3-2 pitch.
What an at-bat he had the other night against a hard-throwing lefty. I was talking to Brooke Jacoby today. I said, "You pretty happy about that at-bat against Pazos from the Yankees?" He just winked at me and smiled, said, "Ryan Goins has come a long way this season as a hitter."
They brought in Pazos, and the only batter he faced was Goins. There go the runners. Goins strikes out. The Blue Jays will strand a pair. But Josh Donaldson, a solo home run with one out. His 40th of the season. He becomes just the first Blue Jay to hit 40 home runs in his first season since Jose Canseco in '98. the ball club and the fact that they lead the American League East. And if you look at the difference between last year and this year, the average home attendance has really jumped.
It shot up. Last season it was just over 29,000. This year 34,000 and change. That propels the Blue Jays to 4th in the American League in overall attendance. They've drawn over 2.6 million fans, and it's been a big party here. A lot of fun. We were talking to some of the people from the Tampa Bay Rays, and they've taken notice of the crowds here at Rogers Center this year. They were saying, can't wait to get up there to see the crowd and hear how enthusiastic they've been.
Chris Archer was talking about the fact that it's a totally different atmosphere when they were here the last time, back in July. This is Asdrubal Cabrera had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Cabrera's in his first season with the Rays. Pennington cuts in front of Goins and throws out Cabrera.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
James Loney, the first baseman. Loney popped out to shortstop to end the first. Line drive, Bautista coming in. He'll play it on a hop. Loney gets aboard with a one-out single.
That is just his 9th career hit in 41 at-bats against R.A. Dickey. A little changeup down and away. After falling behind, he tries to throw that changeup, but Loney, such a good hitter. He uses his hands so well. Stays back on that one.
That snapped a string of 7 straight retired by Dickey. Brandon Guyer had a single to left, his first time up. Doesn't it seem like these two teams play an awful lot of one-run games?
Close games, yes. A lot of close games. They've got good pitching staffs. They play pretty decent defense. The difference, I think, in these teams, there's a little bit more power on the Blue Jays, a little bit more team speed on Tampa Bay. But other than that, they're very similar.
We mentioned earlier that the Rays are the only team the Blue Jays played this season that have outscored the Jays. That ball gets away from Martin. Loney will go to second. It was in the dirt. He backhanded and got a glove on it, but it went back to the backstop. Second wild pitch charged to Dickey tonight.
Russell backhanded the last time the ball was in the dirt. This time it's too far out in front, and it takes too big of a hop. Now you got your work cut out for you right here. Guyer has been tough against Dickey.
For the outfielders, you have to make a note to yourself. Loney running from second doesn't have great speed, so you're going to have a shot if you get a base hit. Guyer with a good cut. Kevin Kiermar, the speedy center fielder, is on deck. Bouncing ball right on the lip, and Pennington stayed with it. Boy, that hit right on the edge of the artificial surface, and he got a pretty true hop considering where the ball hit.
But he got himself into throwing position early. Turn to the side. Watch him as he goes to backhand. He turns to the side to get that feet in throwing position. And that's why he was able to get it over there quickly to record the out.
2 outs. Kevin Kiermar. High fly ball down the right side. Barney giving chase, and Bautista's there. Jose came from right field, stayed with it, and caught it just over the railing down the right side to end the inning. Bautista knows this ballpark very well. He stays with it, focuses, calls for it, and then makes the catch just before he hits the wall.
All the great catches. Kevin Pillar. It is the Kevin Pillar Show following the Rays and Blue Jays tomorrow on Sportsnet. He will count down some of his greatest plays so far this year, along with Jamie Campbell. And guys, lately Kevin Pillar has shown he's a much more efficient hitter than he had been in the wild as well.
Swinging the bat very well. Of course, he had a terrific month of June when everything really turned around for him, but lately he's starting to come around again. And he told us, Pat, and you mentioned it, about his eyes telling him not to swing, but he's always anticipating getting something good to hit.
Yeah, be ready to swing until your eyes tell you it's off the plate. And he has been stinging the ball, hitting the ball hard all over the ballpark.
Driven to center, Kiermar on the run at the track. Goodbye, home run! Kevin Pillar.
Well, I guess his eyes told him it's a strike. That ball was stung pretty hard. He doubled the right center field his first time up, and he says, you know what? Center field's not going to hold me tonight. There it is.
The Pillar Colabella celebration. Oderizzi has now given up 18 home runs for the season, 2 here tonight.
Out in front. There's some hidden power in that swing as he gets a little bit more comfortable.
This is driven down the left side. Pennington will have a fair ball, ground rule double. Cliff Pennington with a pair of doubles tonight.
I'll tell you, one hit can really get the team fired up, but it looks like the Kevin Pillar hit might have gotten the Blue Jays fired up. Ball out over the plate. He gets everything into this one. And out of here for his 12th home run of the season. Tell you what, he doesn't have to pull the ball to hit a home run. He's got plenty of power.
Not when you hit him like that. Darwin Barney with nobody out and a man at second. Squares to bunt. And bunts it foul.
Not a bad idea right there. Get that runner to third base with less than 2 outs. If the infield is playing deep on the right side, you can even push that ball to the right side. Ideally, you'd like to make that third baseman field the ground ball right here because he will then vacate third base. Pennington can then move up.
Takes the ball, 1-1. Longoria at third, keeping an eye on Pennington as he plays in front of the bag, and Loney with a very accurate arm, the first baseman, crashing hard.
He's coming hard, and the shortstop Cabrera is going to try and keep that runner close. There's a giant hole if he squares around on the left side.
Good bunt. Longoria has to vacate third base and throw Barney out. Darwin Barney does his job.
You get a chance to play, you got to do the little things, I think. Watch where this ball is. It's up and in. And Barney's got that bat right at the top of the strike zone, and he brings the bat higher, but keeps it at that 45-degree angle. The barrel didn't go higher. The whole bat stayed up, and that drove that ball down for a sacrifice bunt. Now the infield has to come in.
Ben Revere has hit the ball hard twice tonight, had a leadoff triple and flied out to center field. He'll take a fly to center field right now. Blue Jays have a 3-2 lead. Kevin Pillar with another go-ahead RBI.
That's uncharacteristic right there, isn't it, of Ben Revere? Usually pretty good at making that pitcher come to him.
Pennington at third. Base hit. Revere delivers the RBI single. Pennington jogs across. Bottom of the order, doing it again. Bottom three in the order have 4 hits. Darwin Marney with the sacrifice, and Ben Revere.
And they've scored 3 runs, 3 of the 4 runs. You get that runner on at third base as a hitter, your eyes just light up. Little splitter, and Revere, this time he gets plenty of it. Rips it in the right field for another RBI.
4-2 Blue Jays. Revere with his 41st RBI of the season, 15th since coming to the Jays. Kevin Pillar with the leadoff home run here in the 4th gave the Blue Jays the lead. Revere extended that lead.
I'll tell you what, Josh Donaldson has the whole right side of the infield if he wants it.
Long, deep drive to left field. It is high and way back, but foul.
That is a long way from home plate. Look at that. You think when they bought their tickets and they found out where they were sitting that they thought that they would get a ball tonight?
Yeah, we're sitting up here in the 5th deck. We'll probably get a foul ball or 2. Well, maybe at BP. But John Gibbons, the manager, is out to ask the umpire if they would have a look at it. It was so high and so deep that it was difficult to really tell, but we had a pretty good angle on it, and it looked to be foul. But Gibbons said, you know what, let's take a look at it. Donaldson has 2 hits off Jake Oderizzi, the Rays starter, back in July. He hit a 2-run shot to right center.
Looked like a breaking ball that time, out of here to right field, and then tonight another breaking ball, this time to center field. And he hangs him, he's been hitting him. That last pitch that he just hit foul looked like a breaking ball. And Josh was all over this one. One more breaking ball, one more time. Down the left field line now. The extension on that foul pole shows you that it's clearly foul.
Donaldson's home run in the third was his 37th home run as a number 2 hitter. That's the most in Blue Jays franchise history. Aaron Hill had 36 in 2009. 0-2. Up and in. There goes Revere, another pitch inside. Arancibia's throw is into the runner, and Revere will stay put. Then Revere picks up his 6th stolen base as a Blue Jay.
Pretty good pitch to throw on, but Revere got a great running start over there at first base. That's his 30th stolen base on the season. He's only been thrown out 6 times. Fastball in the inner half off the mark. That's a pretty good jump right there for Revere.
Two and two to Donaldson. Nasty splitter. He was able to get a piece of it. We mentioned Donaldson's 37 home runs hitting in the 2 spot. That's a new franchise record for the Blue Jays. It's the 5th most in Major League history as a number 2 hitter, and the most since Jay Bell hit 38 in 1999 with Arizona. Bautista waits on deck. Another good at bat for Donaldson. That'll bring Bautista to the plate with 2 on.
Number 19, Jose Bautista.
That gets Kevin Cash. They'll probably get somebody up right now. You see Jim Hickey heading over to the phone to try and get somebody loose down in that bullpen.
Jose has grounded out and walked in his 2 plate appearances. Oderizzi might have gotten a call on that one. Ball and a strike to Bautista.
They wasn't real happy with that one. This is where you can zero in on that pitcher. Riefenhauser is now up. C.J. Riefenhauser starting to get loose.
Popped up. Arancibia behind home plate. Makes the catch. Bautista is out on the pop-out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jose just missed that one. Looked like a backup split change right over the middle of the plate. Jose knows he should have hit that one. He's such an intense guy. He wants that pitch back.
Edwin Encarnacion, he too has grounded out and walked like Bautista. Revere at second, Donaldson at first, and Encarnacion fouls off the first pitch. Edwin got a pretty good pitch to hit as well. He was disappointed he could only foul it back. You see him messing with his fingers. He's got those two middle fingers taped together for support. He's been dealing with that injured knuckle on his middle finger of his left hand for quite a while.
Well, now's the time to cut down that swing. This is where he's hit a lot of home runs with 2 strikes.
That one was down and away. Encarnacion, despite dealing with that injured hand, coming into this game, over his last 13 games, he's hit .362 with 5 home runs.
Maybe that injury like that cuts down his swing and shortens it up. If you overswing, we've seen him drop that left hand off the bat when he's a little bit too aggressive.
Ball gets away from Oderizzi. It was a foul tip, and Encarnacion has life. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big slugger. See, Bautista still upset. He had a pitch called against him that was off the plate.
I think that's what that was about. That discussion with Navarro right there, that pitch was off the plate and it made it 1-1 instead of 2-0.
We're in the bottom of the 4th, and Jake Oderizzi has thrown 96 pitches. Blue Jays have forced him into 3 walks. They've hit 2 home runs. Russell Martin would be next if Encarnacion can reach base. Up behind home plate. Oderizzi, the catcher, makes the catch. 2 pop outs to end the inning. The Blue Jays leave a pair. We'll go to the 5th. The Jays have a 4-2 lead for R.A. Dickey. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell.
Comfort zone, and tonight we welcome guests of TD. Now we slide across the field to center field, and we take a look at the WestJet flight deck and remind you once again the home run contest is now on. If a Blue Jays player hits a home run into the flight deck, your name could be drawn to win $25,000 WestJet dollars. For full contest rules and entry form, visit BlueJays.com/WestJet. WestJet contest. If Josh Donaldson had straightened that out a little bit more, Buck, that may have gone over the WestJet flight deck.
It sure might have. He hit it a ton, and you can see all the fans, for some reason, what are they pointing at out there, Barry? Find out, would you? J.P. Arencibia, he grounded out to third base, back into second. R.A. Dickey makes the play and goes to first for the first out. One down here, and Arencibia retired on the comebacker.
The Acura 7-day sales event, only until September 30th. Visit your Acura dealer today.
Downtown Toronto and Rogers Center, just a few blocks away from the center of the city. And this city has been abuzz with the success of this ball club. John Jaso goes after the first pitch and flies out to left.
His game's plan has been to be aggressive against R.A. Dickey tonight. I think he's seen 4 pitches and 3 at-bats.
Grounded out twice to the first baseman and now flies out to left. Grady Sizemore had a double his first time up.
R.A. Dickey is an exceptional fielder, but sometimes you don't know where the ball is. You can see he's looking up saying, where to go? Who am I supposed to look at?
You don't see that very often. Pitchers will track that ball very effectively. You'll see hitters do that from time to time, take a swing and not know where it went. I haven't seen too many pitchers do that. 0-2 to Sizemore. And there's that slow knuckler. Sizemore stays on it, but that's going to hook into the seats. R.A. will do that from time to time. He'll lob that knuckleball in there, just trying to disrupt the timing a little bit more.
We'll have to ask him if he learned that from Phil Niekro. Phil Niekro used to do that. He was great at it. He would do the fast windup and all of a sudden throw that eephus knuckleball in there just to throw off the timing of those hitters.
Comes back with the heater. Dickey had a chance to catch up with Phil Niekro when the ball club was in Atlanta. They had a little refresher chat about the knuckleball and all its nuances. Sizemore strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the night for R.A. Dickey. He has a very efficient 9-pitch inning to get out of the 5th.
because the first 20,000 fans that arrive get one of these very, very cool Blue Jays hoodies. It is Hoodie Giveaway Day presented by Allstate as the Blue Jays finish off their home schedule of the regular season, facing the Rays at 107. And Buck, the roof being open, it's still nice and warm during the day, but you never know if we get one of those cold blasts to have that hoodie, especially once October baseball starts.
Well, that's true, Barry, and I understand you've got a few extra tickets for that game on Sunday, so I think you should share those with some of the fans.
I will do that, yeah. And you know what you've done now, Buck? You've just lit my Twitter on fire.
Contact them in Twitter.
Russell Martin takes the ball outside. It's 1-1 to the Blue Jays catcher. Russell's 0 for 2 so far with a strikeout. And we mentioned at the top of the show, Russell Martin was part of that November beginning of the rebuilding of this team. He and Josh Donaldson were picked up in November. Martin is a free agent, Donaldson in a trade. Russell's now 32 years old. He is playing in his 10th season. And the interesting thing, as Pat alluded to earlier, is his postseason experience. He's been in 11 postseason series.
Yeah, 7 out of the last 9 years in the postseason. We were talking about pressure and playing pressurized games like that, and I said this is pretty good for the young players who haven't experienced it. And he said it's a great learning experience, being able to slow the ball game down and then starting to expect it. The pressurized games, you learn to play with it, and it's true. When you play in the postseason as much as Russell has, you know how to play in those pressure-packed games like we just played against the Yankees.
Yeah, you're able to block out all of the distractions and really focus on the competition. And the more you play in those pressure-packed games like the Yankees series, the better you're going to be able to handle it. But for guys like Owens and Pilar going through this for the first time, they've got a lot of veterans they can lean on.
Great experience in these type of games.
Hot shot, but they play Martin up the middle, and Forsyth was there. One down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Carlos Carrasco and Edinson Volquez, the pitching matchup in Kansas City, and the Royals got some bad news. Greg Holland, their closer, is done for the season with elbow problems. They do have a deep bullpen, and I imagine Wade Davis will move right into that role, but losing a pitcher of that caliber, and Holland had not been pitching well lately. Yeah. That elbow had been barking at him for a while.
They're talking about possibly Tommy John surgery. He had lost about 5 miles per hour on his fastball. Talking to a scout the other day, and I asked him, who was a former pitcher, I said, what does that mean when you lose the miles per hour? He says, that's probably an injury. And here you go, the injury. What it does is it takes that bullpen, makes it a little bit smaller. I mean, they had a great thing working 7th, 8th, 9th with that bullpen.
Goins called out on strike 3. That fastball catches the outside corner. He strikes out for a second time against Oderizzi. Well, Kansas City, they are in a tough spot. They play a 3-game series at home against the Indians, and the Blue Jays are chasing the Royals for the best record in the American League. They are 2 games behind Kansas City. The Royals will play the Indians over the weekend in that series at Kauffman Stadium. Then they will go to Chicago to play the Cubs in a makeup game on Monday, and then 3 against the White Sox before finishing up in Minnesota. It's a high fly ball to shallow left. The shortstop is out. Asdrubal Cabrera makes the catch. And we go to the 6th. The Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead over Tampa Bay. And here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
MLB.tv. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.tv Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Every night on every device. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Buck, I've received right now 62 requests for these tickets that I apparently have for Sunday, so I need you to help me out, my man.
Let's go for it, Barry. I know you can come through. It's going to be a big day.
Yeah.
How are you going to choose between all those people who to give those tickets to?
For tickets, go in care of Buck and Pat at sportsnet.ca.
Too late.
There you go. Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Social media. Go for it. Jim Hickey and Jake Oderizzi talking, and that probably indicates that he is finished. He's thrown 111 pitches. Longoria lifts a fly ball out to right field. Bautista is there. One up, one down here in the sixth. Dickey got off to a shaky start. He gave up 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk in the first inning. And then after a leadoff single in the second to Brandon Guyer, he retired 7 straight. Settled down a bit, and since then he's allowed just 1 base runner. This is Logan Forsyth. He has walked and grounded to short. You know what Dickey has done in the second half of the season, I think is very commendable. He's really picked his spots well for the fastball.
He's mixing it in more, and you're right, picking the spots. Maybe the first pitch of an at-bat. He's done that too. He's thrown the slow knuckleball that essentially, I think, gives him 3 pitches that he can work with. That fastball that sinks, the slow knuckleball, and then the hard knuckleball.
There's the hard one, and boy, did it have some movement.
You've tried throwing a knuckleball, haven't you?
Oh, I have a great knuckleball.
Oh, okay. Can you throw it for strikes? That's
probably not.
That's the point I'm making. Everybody likes to mess around with the knuckleball, throw the knuckleball, but to throw it for a strike to a batter, it's got to be tough.
Well, and it's reflected in how long it took RA to master it. And he started it while he was pitching with the Texas Rangers. There's a fastball and hit on the ground to Goins. Forsyth is out, 2 down. But it takes forever to master it, and to his credit, R.A. Dickey stayed with it. I mean, there were disappointing times, obviously, and setbacks, and the frustration of throwing it. I mean, you have to be a very patient, confident man to stick with it the way R.A. has. And to think that a knuckleballer won a Cy Young, that's remarkable.
Throwing 200 innings every year and still going strong.
The Rays shortstop Asdrubal Cabrera.
I remember talking with Rick Waits, who was the pitching coach for the Mets when R.A. was learning to knuckleball, and it was one step at a time. Okay, today we're going to talk about where we're going to start on the mound. And now we're going to just throw, and we're going to concentrate on hitting the glove pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch.
Fly ball. Easy play for Bautista. Dickey is through the 6th. R.A. Dickey is in a groove, middle innings, 10 pitches. Retires the side in order once again.
Sportsnet app. It has you covered. Keep up to speed with everything Blue Jays. Don't miss a pitch with our new in-depth live game tracker. Plus the latest news, videos, and interviews on Canada's team. Download the new Sportsnet app today. Buck.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. Barry Davis. 2 R's in Barry.
Hashtag Barry Davis.
This is C.J. Riefenhauser making his 14th appearance. He was recalled from AAA on September 1st for the 4th stint with the Rays this season.
Look at the batting average left-handers have had against Riefenhauser. Doesn't throw that hard sinker-slider type of guy. Blue Jays are going to have to wait him out and make him throw strikes.
Well, it'll be 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays here in the 6th, and what a night Cliff Pennington has had. He's hit a pair of doubles tonight. Pennington has made a couple of good plays at third base as well. He's a natural shortstop that seems to be more comfortable on the left side of the diamond than he is at second. Riefenhauser, another one of those ball players from Chipola Junior College in Marianna, Florida. There's another hit for Pennington. He's 3 for 3.
Help is only 140 million miles away. The Martian. In theaters, October 2nd.
Beautiful evening in Toronto. The roof is wide open on this cool fall-like evening. Bottom of the order has really done a good job tonight. Darwin Barney, the second baseman, had a sacrifice bunt in the 4th. He squares again to bunt, takes one in there for a strike. Pennington is 3 for 3.
Pilar's had a couple of hits. He scored a couple of runs. Barney, you mentioned that sacrifice bunt. It's a good time right here just to shoot a ball to right field.
Well, the Rays think something's up. They can play hit and run here. Barney can put the bat on the ball.
You can bunt if you so choose to do that. Also, you've got the whole right side open up for you.
Another good bunt. Riefenhauser looks at second, goes to first. Darwin Barney with his second sacrifice bunt of the night.
You know what I think John Gibbons is thinking right here is, if I sacrifice, get him to second base, that guarantees pretty much Josh Donaldson's going to hit in this inning. He will probably hit off of the right-hander who's warming up. Now they got a couple of shots to drive in an insurance run.
Jim Hickey is out talking to Riefenhauser, giving him a little bit of a scouting report on Revere. Jake Oderizzi, the starter tonight, threw 111 pitches. He went 5 innings. He is charged with all 4 of the Blue Jays' runs on 7 hits, had 3 walks, and struck out 4. He is on the hook for the loss at this point.
Threw a lot of pitches. Blue Jays did a good job of waiting him out and making him throw strikes.
Ben Revere's had a 2-hit game. First pitch, breaking ball. Cliff Pennington with a 3-hit game tonight, 2 doubles and a single. It's his first 3-hit game of the season. This for Pennington Game number 99. Revere hits a fly ball to left. Sizemore is there. 2 down. Now Donaldson indeed will come to the plate there, and here comes Kevin Cash, the manager of the Rays. Donaldson's going to see a new pitcher. Riefenhauser gets the lefty Ben Revere, and there's the call to the bullpen. So Riefenhauser gets Revere. He'll turn things over to Kirby Yates, the right-hander, who will come in and deal with Josh Donaldson, who's homered tonight, his 40th. Until September 30th. Visit your Acura dealer today.
3rd inning, Blue Jays down by a run. Up steps Josh Donaldson, and this is 40. His 40th home run to dead center field. And a breaking ball ties it up. It is our drive of the game. How many times have we said that this season with Josh Donaldson?
MVP 20. It's a no Trouter season, according to that Blue Jay fan. Was the reference to Mike Trout of the Angels. Trout has 40 home runs as well. Donaldson leads the majors in RBIs. 121. Kirby Yates, his 18th appearance of the season.
Blue Jays have seen Yates before. This is his 4th stint with the big club this season. He was brought up and recalled on September the 1st. Fastball, little cutter are the pitches of choice for Yates. He could rush it up there mid-90s when he is on.
A home run list for the leaderboards: Chris Davis of the Orioles, Nelson Cruz, and then Donaldson and Mike Trout ahead of J.D. Martinez of the Tigers. Donaldson and Trout in that MVP race, top of the American League candidates. Two and one now. Yates had a rough outing on Wednesday in Boston. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 2, and threw 23 pitches. And he's not had much success stranding inherited base runners.
That was after he retired the first 2 batters bucked in that inning. Then he gave up all those runs you were talking about.
2-2 to Donaldson. Breaking ball hit hard. Cabrera stays with it. And Yates gets out of the inning. Donaldson hammered it right to the shortstop. We'll go to the 7th. Blue Jays lead it 4-2. R.A. Dickey looking for win number 100.
Any screen from anywhere. Subscribe for the 2015-16 season before October the 6th to get the early bird rate of $179.99. Get started at Rogers.com/NHL. Well, guys, our count is now up around 300-400 for Blue Jays tickets. And many have asked, Buck, if you will cover their airfare from different parts of the country. And I have told them, absolutely, if these tickets come through, you will fly them in from wherever.
Yeah.
Work for you?
Yeah, that's a great deal.
Awesome.
You don't have anything to worry about, partner.
No.
If you come through with the tickets, nothing to worry about.
No tickets?
No.
What a ball game. R.A. Dickey has a 4-2 lead as he's set to start the 7th. James Loney. Loney singled in the 4th. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, always working, talking to his pitcher. Mark Lowe, the right-hander, starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. We are in the 7th inning. R.A. Dickey's been fairly efficient. That was just his 81st pitch.
But if you know John Gibbons, he always gets that bullpen ready just in case. You know, if he runs into trouble early, he wants to have that reliever ready to go to flush out that rally by the opposition. James Loney, he's a tough out. Tough guy first of this inning right here. Doesn't strike out a lot, puts the ball in play. He's a good hitter.
Brandon Guyer has a hit against Dickey tonight. Tampa Bay has just 4 hits. They scored their 2 runs in the first inning, and they collected half their hits in the first inning. Kevin Pillar got a good break and runs it down in center.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Dickey once again has set down 9 straight Rays. He had a string of 7 straight retired, then gave up a single to Loney. Now it's 9 straight again. Oh, and 2. Dickey strikes out Geyer. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A couple of home runs tonight for the Blue Jays. Kevin Pillar had a go-ahead home run, his 12th of the season. That started off the 4th inning. Josh Donaldson homered in the 3rd to tie it. Kiermar lifts a lazy fly ball to center. Another quick inning for R.A. Dickey. Well, the Blue Jays have a 2-run lead. They'll send the middle of their order up when we come back. Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and then the catcher, Russell Martin for 2 Jays.
Everything that happened in baseball tonight with the morning highlight presented by Booster Juice, and you can watch it on Sportsnet 360. And look at that, someone there will trade their wife for playoff tickets, and I'm sorry, I'm not making that deal either.
Where's your spirit, Barry? Come on. Well, it'll be Bautista, Encarnacion, and Russell Martin for the Jays here in the 7th. Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead. Kirby Yates got Josh Donaldson to end the 6th. The Rays have 4 left-handers down in their pen. That's Manny Ramirez, who has started to loosen up. They've already used C.J. Riefenhaus.
They get Jake McGee back tonight.
Looked like a very close pitch, but that's called a ball. 2-2. Bautista picked up his 103rd walk of the season in the 3rd inning. Swing and a drive deep to left. Bautista has gone deep again into the 2nd deck.
You might keep him down for a while, and they kept him quiet so far tonight with a ground out and a pop out. And Jose Bautista is such a good hitter. He was waiting that whole at bat for that breaking ball. He finally got it, and he didn't miss it. He has now faced Yates 3 times, and he's got a couple of hits off of him. That's his first home run. And it's a big one. He kept dealing him with fastball, fastball, fastball. Now he throws the breaking ball, and Jose's waiting for him. It backs up on him, and that's home run number 37.
His 283rd career home run. Makes it a 5-2 game. Blue Jays have pounded out 3 home runs tonight. Donaldson, Pilar, and now Bautista.
Where you could just tell the way he was taking those fastballs that he was looking for something off speed and got it. One more time. Watch a little bit higher leg kick like he knew it was coming. Breaking ball, and then he gets all of it.
Great extension as he drove through that ball. This is popped up. First base side of the diamond. Loney is there in fair territory. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. White Sox breaking out the big bats for Olt. That's his 4th of the season. Beckham's 6th. And Olt has the distinction of being one of the few players to homer for the Cubs and the White Sox in the same season. This is Russell Martin. Russell's over so far tonight. Right on the corner. Two balls and a strike to Russell Martin. Off the plate, now 3-1.
Time to hit a ball hard right here. There's Ryan Goins. Not far. We were talking about it earlier. Try to hit the ball hard somewhere, but don't overswing. Ball 4.
Let's go back and look at the Bautista home run again. You mentioned the high leg kick kind of indicated that Bautista was looking breakable. How so?
Because he kept taking those fastballs and taking it, and there's the leg kick. It looked like he started a little bit earlier. He stayed back on that back leg and then got that curveball. That it looked like, to me, it looked like he was looking for it to hold it back. The way he was taking the fastballs. He threw him 3 straight and then hung him a breaking ball. He's just a good hitter.
He's a very good hitter.
I love watching hitters that think their way through at bats. And Jose is one of the most intelligent hitters that I've come across.
And he is confident enough to take pitches that are good pitches to hit. Waiting for that one pitch that he's been looking for, and he got it there. Ryan Goins behind 0-2.
I mean, you've been around great hitters your whole life, and when you go talk to them, it's almost like they're on a second plane, that they're out there. One of the hitters that I found out who was like that was Manny Ramirez. Great hitter, but really, really smart. And when you would see him hit pitches that were almost impossible, he was thinking of doing just like Jose Bautista. Let's go pitch to pitch and concentrate on the fastball. There's the first breaking ball. That's out of the way. Now watch how he takes these things. And they're there. But the timing is more for a breaking ball. This is the one that really gave it away for me, that he was looking at breaking ball with 2 strikes. He takes it, and now a little bit higher leg kick. He starts his swing a little bit earlier. See ya. That's how you can hit with the talent, with the smarts. That's how you hit 30, 35, 40 home runs a year.
And you mentioned another great hitter, Manny Ramirez. Everybody just said, well, that's Manny being Manny. But when you talk to Manny, he knew exactly what he had to do at the plate. Kevin Pillar with another 2-hit game. His 9th hit on the homestand, hits number 8 and 9. He is now 9 for 25. You see Aaron Lopez joined Mark Lowe in the Blue Jays bullpen. The plate. Cliff Pennington's had a season high 3 hits. He's 3 for 3 tonight. He'll be next if Pillar can reach.
Where the bottom of the lineup has done a great job tonight. Starting with this guy right here, Kevin Pillar. What a night he's put together.
Doubled and scored. Hit a leadoff home run in the 4th and popped out to the shortstop.
And he also has a stolen base tonight.
Darwin Barney has 2 sacrifice bunts tonight. 3-2, 2 outs. Martin's off. Foul ball. Russell Martin will return to first. Martin drew a 2-out walk. Blue Jays have taken 4 walks tonight. They now have 9 hits. Gates tried to exaggerate that breaking call to Bautista, and he just got a cement mixer to stay on the inner part of the plate. Now he's staying with the fastball to Pillar.
That's been the book on Pillar with 2 strikes, trying to elevate that fastball. Last time he homered on that fastball up and away.
He'll take ball 4. Another good at bat for Pillar. He's been on base 3 times tonight. 2nd walk of the inning for the Jays. So Kevin Cash quickly out of the Rays dugout. Cliff Pennington, a switch hitter, 3 for 3 so far, will face Manny Ramirez, second lefty, to work tonight for Tampa Bay.
David Price on Blue Jays Central this weekend. These former teammates discuss the pressures of being an ace, and Price reveals the price tag the Blue Jays will need to keep him in Toronto. Reminder, Blue Jays Central, 12 Eastern tomorrow, the 1 hour show, and Buck Price versus his former teammate and good friend Chris Archer. Should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun, and Archer was talking about that today before the game. He says, you know what, I got more to worry about the pitching against David Price. I'm pitching against that Blue Jay lineup, and that's always a challenge.
That's enough to keep your mind busy right there. This is Manny Ramirez, 19th game of the season. He's 0-1 with a 481 home run average. Manny Ramirez got a good, lively arm, but he'll pitch to contact.
Kirby Yates out of the game. Yates gave up a home run to Bautista. Then he walked Martin and Pilar. Good fastball. 0-2.
Yeah, that's that good lively arm that you can see. He can force him that fastball in on right-handers. Got a slurvy little curveball that he can deal with. His change is coming along. Pretty good left-handed arm out of the bullpen.
Pennington strikes out. They retire Pennington for the first time tonight. He had a great night at the plate. Talk about great nights at the plate. The Blue Jays have done it again. 3 more home runs. This home run for Bautista. Number 37 on the season. His 3rd highest total in his outstanding career. Bananas over the Blue Jays. It's been a long time since they've talked about playoff baseball. 22 years since the Blue Jays have been in the postseason, and from coast to coast across Canada, everybody is talking Blue Jays baseball, and they're anxious for the Blue Jays to wrap up the AL East. New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be Mark Lowe, taking over for R.A. Dickey, who was terrific again tonight.
Yes, he was. He just gave up 2 earned runs in 7 innings. They'll turn it over to Lowe for the 55th time this season. There are his numbers for both Seattle and Toronto. Last time Mark was on the mound, he was touched up by the Yankees in that extra inning game.
J.P. Arancibia jumps on the first pitch, and J.P. has just hit a solo home run for Arancibia. That's his 6th home run this month.
You know, JP, he is sitting dead red on that first pitch, first fastball that he sees. He's swinging, and he got one up and out over the plate. And Arancibia comes back to where he started his big league career in homers on the first pitch in the 8th inning. First pitch, fastball, there it is. How many times have you seen JP do that?
Arancibia, that's his 39th career home run here at Rogers Center, obviously playing 4 seasons for the Blue Jays. Aaron Sevilla had a 23 home run season in 2011 catching for the Blue Jays.
A lot of them just like this, high arching long fly ball out of here, and the Rays get that run right back.
John Jaso, we have seen this time and time again from Tampa Bay.
No quit in them, none.
Aaron Sanchez starting to get loose. Ground ball. Barney to his right. 1 out here in the 8th. R.A. Dickey is in line for his 100th win, and he was very good. Had a rough first inning, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits, had a wild pitch, walked the batter, but never threw more than 17 pitches in an inning. He threw 17 in the first, and it was downhill after that. He was really good. There's a broken bat, fly ball to right. Bautista is there. Sizemore's out.
Acura 7-day sales event, only until September 30th. Visit your Acura dealer today.
2 outs, Evan Longoria. Third baseman has gone 1 for 3 tonight. He scored one of the 2 runs in the first inning. We mentioned Dickey's pitch count. He threw 17 in the first, 16 in the second, then 12, 13, 9, 10, and 11. Very consistent.
And I think I got my math right. After that leadoff single in the second inning, Buck, to Brandon Guyer, he retired 18 out of 19 batters. And that's how you shut down the opposition and you give your offense a chance to take the lead, and that's what happened here tonight.
Strikes out Longoria. After giving up a first pitch home run, he retires the next 3 in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 5-3 Blue Jays lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell.
Fans back this weekend. It is Blue Jays Fan Appreciation Weekend presented by Allstate. tomorrow and Sunday as the Blue Jays take on the Rays. We'll have fun in-game activities and prizes to be won all weekend long. And none of those prizes will come from me, Buck. I promise.
You're not a very good sport, Barry. Darwin Barney, he got a start at second base. He's had a good game. Wallace in the field, a couple of sacrifice bunts. Pops this one into the seats on the right side.
He's played some good defense. Sacrifice bunts, leading to a couple of runs for the Blue Jays. Darwin was picked up the day after Troy Tulowitzki was injured. And you and I were here early and got a chance to see looked like some encouraging news this afternoon.
1-2 to Barney. There's a line drive, base hit to left. Darwin Barney. With a leadoff single in the bottom of the eighth. We talked to Tulowitzki and asked him how it was going, and he was really upbeat about the progress. He said, I'm throwing, I'm fielding, I don't feel anything there, but to be honest with you, he said, I'm just barely swinging off a tee right now, and it's really not much. But he did say something about what his quote-unquote timetable was.
I think we will see him on the next road trip, maybe in Tampa. I know he wants to play some games, and he wants some live hitting and game action before the playoffs.
Then Revere bunts it to third. Longoria makes a nice play of it. Revere delivers the sacrifice bunt to push Barney to second. Blue Jays with the sacrifices tonight.
Keep that pressure on. Get that runner into scoring position. Take a couple of shots to knock him in. And now they'll get Donaldson and Bautista a chance against the left-hander.
Donaldson the DH tonight, just the 7th time he has been the DH this season. He has done well as a DH. Tonight he hit his 3rd home run while DHing. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a walk. They've been a long time waiting for October baseball here. Foul night. Josh has homered twice in a game, 3 times this season. April 17th here against Atlanta. May 26th against the White Sox, and August 18th in Philadelphia.
Hit some dramatic home runs this year, some late game-winning home runs, walk-off home runs.
The bringer of rain, that is Donaldson's Twitter handle. He had to move quickly to get out of the way of that.
And every time a pitch comes even close to him, the fans react here. You don't want to see anything happen to Donaldson. That time that fastball brushed him back just a little bit. And the fans react once again.
Donaldson will walk for a 2nd time. He's been on base 3 times in his 5 plate appearances.
It's another fastball that Ramirez overthrows. He's had problems finding the strike zone in the past. He just overthrows that one. He wanted to strike him out. And invariably that will happen. The ball gets away from him.
Well, now maybe the best fastball hitter on the team steps in the box in Jose Bautista with 2 on. His 37th home run came in his last at bat in the 7th inning. He got into that fastball but pulled it foul.
Threw a couple of fastballs, 3 of them in fact, and then tried to throw a breaking ball that just stayed in the middle of the plate. Jose blocks it to left field. Home run number 37. RBI number 106. And it looks like Kevin Cash is going to let Romero try and work himself out of this inning. Nobody warming up in the pen.
98, but way up.
Yeah, he's just reaching back with everything he has right here against these power hitters the Blue Jays have.
It's a 5-3 Blue Jays lead, and with that, the closer, Roberto Osuna, is loosening up. Bautista, with his 37th home run here tonight, that's the 3rd highest total he's had in a single season. He was the home run champ in back-to-back seasons. He had 54 home runs in 2010 and 43 in 2011.
You talk about the guy who's the best fastball hitter. That's Jose. Never liked the fastball. He never met a fastball he didn't like. This is 98, and he just misses it.
Oh, he had a good cut. 1-2. He's called out on that fastball. Manny Ramirez gets a strikeout. His second since coming into the game. He struck out Pennington to end the 7th. Edwin Encarnacion playing at first base tonight has gone 0 for 3. A couple of pop outs and a ground out. He's also walked.
You know, when you face a guy who is throwing this hard, that was a breaking ball at 90 miles an hour. We've seen his fastball 97 or 98 miles an hour. As a hitter, all you got to make sure you do is start it early, catch it out in front.
Two balls and a strike, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Edwin Encarnacion, certainly a fan favorite here at the Rogers Center. Hot shot, backhanded by Longoria, and he goes to the bag to beat Darwin Barney. That ends the inning. Blue Jays strand a pair in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. It's a 5-3 game. Roberto Osuna coming on, looking for the save. It would be win number 100 for R.A. Dickey. end line. Osuna is into the ball game, looking for save number 18.
7 for 18 for 19 in save opportunities. This is his 64th game. Roberto last pitched on Wednesday through an inning against the Yankees. Just gave up a hit, had a strikeout. In that game, it was a 4-run lead for the Jays, so that wasn't a save opportunity. This one is. Justin Smoke into the ball game also. He takes over at first base for Edwin Encarnacion.
Smoke at first, Osuna on the mound. Osuna picked up save number 17 on Monday against the Yankees in that 4-2 win. Delivers a first pitch strike. Cleanup hitter Logan Forsyth has gone 0 for 2 with a walk. Osuna with the strikeout. Now with 1 out, here's a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Jamie Thomas. Thank you very much. That's all coming up right after this game. This is Asdrubal Cabrera, the shortstop. Goes after the first pitch. Marnie. Smoke. 2 down. This is the 7th appearance for Osuna against Tampa Bay. He is 1 for 1 in save opportunities. He's allowed Tampa Bay 2 hits in 7 innings.
They saw him earlier. You mentioned earlier that it's been a long time since we have seen Tampa Bay. Then it was fastball changeup. He's got that slider mixing in now. So they've got 3 pitches they have to worry about with Osuna.
That hard slider. He's done a great job of developing that pitch here in the big leagues this season. Not an easy thing to do. Foul ball. 47,696 in attendance. Another sellout crowd here at Rogers Center. And they have gotten what they've come to see.
Yeah, getting what they paid for. They're looking for another W for the Blue Jays.
The 11th straight sellout.
Almost walked right into that one.
This should do it. Ball game. Roberto Osuna retires the side in order in the ninth to earn his 18th save of the season. R.A. Dickey, career win number 100. Congratulations.
7 innings, sterling innings for Dickey. Osuna with the save now. That's the second most in Blue Jays history for a rookie with 18. The Blue Jays hit 3 more home runs tonight, and they take game 1 in this big 3-game series against Tampa Bay.
Josh Donaldson with a big home run as the DH tonight. Bautista home run number 37. Kevin Pillar his 12th. We'll be back here tomorrow. Chris Archer, David Price, marquee pitching matchup. Thanks for watching. Here's Sportsnet Central.